Hey guys, my name is Neel and welcome to Neel Workshop Zone. So in this episode we're going to be talking about a topic called as NLP or also known as Natural Language Processing. So in our previous episodes we talked about topics regarding artificial intelligence such as what is artificial intelligence, machine learning, how does all of this work, etc. So if you haven't checked it out, I recommend checking them out. But in this episode we're going to be talking about a small topic called as Natural Language Processing. So without any further ado, let's talk about it. So first of all, what is natural language processing? Well, natural language processing or NLP for short is a subset of AI that can be used for computers so that it could understand, interpret and generate human language. So for example, when you use AI chatbots like ChatGPT or even Google Assistant or Siri, etc., you obviously need to understand that when you ask it a question like such as what's time or what's the weather, it needs to take in that information and it needs to convert it into a language that it can understand, because as you know, artificial intelligence is not sentient, at least yet. So it needs to take in that information, process it so that it can be understandable and again deliver it in such a way that we can understand. So that is where natural language processing comes in. So this natural language processing, what it does is that it basically transfers the information that we give to the computer and it processes it, or it helps in processing the information and it sends it back to us. So that is how natural language processing actually works. So in this natural language processing there are four main steps that make sure that this NLP is taking that information and giving it back properly. So let's talk about those four of them. So the first step is tokenization. So the word seems weird, but it actually has a simple meaning. So tokenization is the process, or in the process of tokenization, what basically happens is that the natural language processing basically takes in the input that you gave it and it tries to highlight the main words. So for example, if you ask a really big phrase, for example the ChatGPT, to give the person a detailed essay regarding the economical development of some country in 200 to 300 words in a really detailed manner, it obviously needs to understand all of that information and give it back as soon as possible. So what tokenization does is it basically takes in that entire phrase and highlights some key and major important points or words or sentences. So for example, like the phrase that I just said, it highlights some main specific points such as essay, detailed, 200 to 300 words, economical development. So it highlights words like that, or it even breaks down into sentences or phrases so that the computer can better understand what you're talking about. And the second is speech tagging. So speech tagging is a process, or in that process what happens is when you ask a phrase, it basically underlines all of those words and it makes sure to separate them in terms of grammar words. So for example, when you ask it a sentence like I just said, it classifies them into noun, pronouns, adverb, adjective, so that the computer can understand it much better. So that is two of the four steps that we can use in artificial intelligence or natural language processing. So the remaining two steps are parsing and sentimental analysis. So these four are the main ways that natural language processing works. So parsing, what it does is it basically establishes the connection between different sentences. So like I said, if you ask a really big phrase, what it basically does is that it checks in the relation between all the sentences or words or phrases and makes sure in such a way that the entire sentence makes sense, and it helps in a very major way to make sure that the entire phrase is understandable for the machine. So that is how parsing works. It basically connects all the sentences and finds out the relation between all the sentences. And the last thing that it does is sentimental analysis. So sentimental analysis is the process where it basically identifies the tone you're talking in. So for example, when you ask it a question, it analyzes it and it checks whether you are asking it in a neutral manner, in a good manner or a bad manner. So sentimental analysis can be used so that the computer or through natural language processing, it can understand the emotion that you're giving it through so that it will give you a better response depending on your emotion. So these four are the main ways that natural language processing works. And all four of these, like I mentioned, are used in various different places such as chatbots, AI, and Google Assistant, Siri, all of those things. So yeah, this is natural language processing and the basic of how it works. And this is basically NLP in a nutshell. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so don't miss out any new videos. And that's all folks, and see you next one. Bye bye.